This video is an overview of AYTM's virtual questions feature. We'll cover the basics and explain what virtual questions are, when you might want to use them, how to add them to your survey results, and briefly mention some advanced things you can do with them. Let's start with the basics. VQs help you to tell the story of your data right in the AYTM platform without having to analyze the raw exports offline. They allow you to make quick chart comparisons and create new questions using data from your survey responses, even though you didn't ask these specific questions of respondents. Another way of saying this is that virtual questions are a way to turn responses into segments and view your entire results through those new lenses. So one more time, virtual questions allow you to explore your data further by combining the responses to questions you did ask in order to answer questions that you didn't actually ask in your survey. Normal survey filtering options apply globally to your entire survey. VQs allow you to compare specific segments side by side in charts, and they provide added flexibility in advanced reporting as well. We'll get to that later. In order to understand when and why you might want to use a virtual question, let's look at an example. We'll use an AYTM survey of 1,000 pet owners to explore some specific characteristics of these respondents that would be much more difficult to dig into without virtual questions. In this case, let's say we're wondering what pet owners are most concerned about when it comes to their pets. If I'm trying to decide what sorts of pet products to feature in a weekly ad for my pet store, this is a question I would be interested in having data around. Our question number 13 asks respondents to rank these 6 concerns in order from highest to lowest. Now, if we create a virtual question, we can combine how many times an answer was selected as the number 1 or 2 ranked concern to compare each of the choices in order of overall importance to pet owners. Top 2 box means that each time the answer was ranked first or second, it will be counted or rolled up into the top 2 box. Keep in mind our virtual question is based on data provided by our survey. You can't use a VQ to obtain data you don't have. And since we're comparing 6 possible choices to find which was ranked first or second the most frequently, the chart created by this virtual question will have 6 columns to allow us to visually distinguish the greatest concern. Let's build this virtual question in our report in the AYTM platform. Before we start building our virtual question, let's take a look at what the ranking question about pet owners' concerns looks like in our results. Here you can see that we've got data on each of these concerns and how they were ranked, but it doesn't seem apparent how to interpret it. And although we can expand each answer choice to explore them individually, we'd have to do manual tallying and calculating to figure out which concern hits home the hardest among pet owners. Instead, let's roll up the top 2 box for each answer using a virtual question and get to the insights we need faster. To find the virtual question option, select the Data Lab icon from the left menu. Once you have it, click and drag the virtual question field anywhere into your survey results. In this video, we're not exploring presets, but we should give the virtual question a clear title. We'll call it Pet Owner Concerns Ranked Top 2 and click Create. Remember how we decided there should be 6 columns or answers to this VQ based on the choices in question 13? A1 through A6 that we're going to create here refer to these columns. This is where we build the parts of our virtual question. You can use the drop-down to select demographics, questions, answers, and more. We are focused on question 13, and we want all the answers to be included in our virtual question because we don't know which is the greatest concern yet. Let's select Q13A1. Then we want to include every time answer 1 was ranked in first or second position. We'll repeat this for answers 2 through 6. And don't forget to label them in a way that is easy to understand, too. If you want to add criteria to your VQ for more specificity, you can switch to advanced mode and modify the programming directly. It uses the standard AYTM logic operators and references. Now that our virtual question is all set up, let's click Generate Chart and see what happens. You can see how many respondents were included in this VQ, the percentage of times the answers were chosen as top 2 concerns, and you can immediately see from the chart whether the differences between the answers being marked top 2 concerns is statistically significant, because the columns show shading when you hover over them and the actual data appears in a pop-up as well. Any columns that are shaded at the same time are not statistically significantly different from each other. So, thanks to the efficiency of creating a VQ, we can say that our data shows health and life expectancy are statistically significant as greatest concerns among pet owners. We might want our weekly ad to highlight vitamins, pet health foods, or a coupon for a well pet checkup. Now that we have this virtual question created, one of the things we can do is use it as a filter for the rest of our survey data. When you visit the Filters tab, you can now select your VQ as a filter. Another important thing to note is that this VQ is now part of the underlying raw data set, which means it will export the same as any other question for offline data analysis. What if you want to get complicated? Some of the more advanced things you can do with virtual questions include creating custom demographic splits, respondent personas, and using the virtual question presets to quickly analyze group logic. Keep in mind that once you've created a virtual question, you can use it in the same way you might use any other question or response. You can filter your entire dataset by a virtual question, you can create custom reports, and perhaps most importantly, you can use them as banners in crosstab or significance testing. Thanks for watching! Check out our other AYTM tutorial videos for more help with virtual questions, or catch us in chat Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern.